Boom, 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 boom. Sam, Isaac, how is it going, fellas? Reds, Crusaders, 2011. A great game, says Isaac. Guinea was unreal that year for sure, man. I think he was the best 9 in the world that year, and it's in 1080p. Happy days. Yeah, with that spelling, maybe Sam has been on the beers. Beer number what, Sam? How's it going, Big Will? My daughter is kicking off in the room through that wall, so you may hear a bit of excitement from there. Ordinarily, it's my job to go and get her to chill, but priorities on a Wednesday, huh? Cleveland's Brown fan is here. How's it going? Tony, dark day for the Crusaders. I guess they've had a few good ones to kind of balance it out. Only halfway through number 1. Sure, Sam. You keep telling us that. We'll believe you. We will believe you. Link should be in the stream description. Yes, as always. I've already got it up, ready to go. Last week's was a Rugby Pass stream. This one's thanks to Rugby AU. I don't think they'll be spying on us in the comments this time. Go the Blues. Indeed, mate. Soon enough. Big question. Should the Reds be red or maroon? I mean, I've always said I kind of like the red, but any Queenslander, I think, would tell you it should be maroon, right? That's more of a Queensland thing. We traveled the world in 2011. Can't do that nowadays, but that was the time to do it. Ribsy says, nice shirt. It is indeed. It's quite comfy. Although, to be honest, because our washing machine's been broken, I've been wearing the rugby shirts like normal shirts. Maybe kind of fittingly, I've just changed out of this one that I've been wearing all day long. Going to Zoom meetings in a Waratahs jersey. What jersey is that, did they ask? Is that a rugby jersey? Hey, Darnell, Danny, Chester, the weather is 12 degrees here in Auckland at the minute. It's cool, but not too bad. Darmundi, Rugby Pass joining the stream was really cool. Yeah, just checking on us, I think, because that was their game. John, how's it going? How's the weather doing for all you guys? Is it comfy? Not going to watch this game. Brings back bad memories. Oh, come on, man. If I can watch 95 World Cup final as a Reds fan, maroon, yeah, I would have thought so. Anyone from the 80s or 90s will say maroon. Yeah, exactly right. You disagree? Classic Reds are red. Okay. Is that right? Crusaders went to Africa and London and Timaru. Oh, yeah, true. It was that year. I forgot about that. Hey, Nathan. Hey, Ross. End of the month recap will be, I guess, like the 2nd or 3rd of the month. I usually wait because the data always takes a couple of days to tick over in the new month. Up the Tars, says Darnell. Indeed. I was wearing the Tars gear all day. 2011 was all about Quade Cooper. Kneeing Richie's head helped New Zealand win the cup. Could be right. How's it, Tim? Aren't you supposed to be at work, man? Thought you were back at work. Cheers for that, Tony. Appreciate it. Loves my work. I appreciate it. Makes it worthwhile hearing stuff like that, and that's for real. Flesh and good morning. Good evening from New Zealand. 9 o'clock. It's on the dot. I reckon the Crusaders have got this. History and form says they've got the Reds beat. Shall we find out? I think it's almost time to get going. They must have cut out pretty much all of the fluff because this one is 1 hour, 25 minutes. So there can't be much else going on. I thought my wife had the daughter down pat. She's just kicked off again. Highlanders $31 to win Super Rugby Aotearoa. Those aren't the best odds. I think the Blues are 3rd favourite. Chiefs 2nd, Crusaders 1st. Horrible. It's 14 degrees, but feels like 11. That's not that bad. Not too bad, man. Blues. Best uni is going to win the title. Nice. Oh, John, man, you're getting us kicked off in the right color. It's gone red. Cheers for that, John. I will thusly crack open a tui. I had a look for the Great Northern. Okay, apparently my hand can't get this open. I couldn't get the Great Northern. Don't know why. There we go. That's better. Slippery hands. But a tui will do. Cheers, John. Everybody else? Hope you are well. Do the Crusaders wear grey in this? They do. They do wear grey in this game. Interestingly, tui beers come with a bit of trivia. What does that say? Oh, I can't even read that word. The text is small, and it's a long word that I can't read. Chartreuse is a halfway color between two colors. Between what two colors? Chartreuse or ISE? The font's really small. My eyes aren't what they used to be. Spates. Cheers, Isaac. Oh, Ribsy's getting in on the action. You're going to start throwing money around in a Reds game. This is going to get ugly fast. Ribsy is a good Queensland man. Reds man. So, cheers, bro. Let's get on the beers, eh? It's going to get messy. Thank you, sir. Cheers, everybody, again. Much appreciated. Let's get cracking. Links in the description. Hour and 25 minutes. 44 seconds. And, yeah, let's get going. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. 2011. Man, that doesn't seem like that long ago, but that's a long time ago now. I'll bring the Great Northern in November or January. Good man. I had a look. Our main liquor stores here don't seem to stock it. There was some specialty liquor store which seems to have stocked it in the past, but no longer does. Brad Thorne is playing for the Crusaders. That's kind of ironic now. Robbie Fruin before he had to retire. I think Digby is pretty much peak Digby at this point. Oh, Radiki Samo. How old was he at this point? He was already an old man, wasn't he? Probably my age. I watched this game in Christchurch. What? Are there any active players in Super Rugby from this game? You could have said Guinea last season, but not anymore. There's a few guys who aren't that long out of Super Rugby. Whitelock's going to be back for the Crusaders. Karevi is back for the Aussie comp. Are you serious? Game clock, by the way, we're almost at 30 seconds. We are underway. My daughter is going gangbusters in the other room. I do not envy my missus. She's not been sleeping at daycare, so her routine is kind of a bit out of whack. Usually she has a nap during the day at home. Radiki Samo breakaway try. The start of the Dean Zero is epic. Radiki Samo was just an entertaining player to watch. A minute gone. Anyone scored yet? No, not yet. Alaran's going to skip this one. Yeah, you watched the highlights the other day. It's all good, bro. Take care. Hope that storm went all right, man. I saw that on the news. It seemed pretty crazy. I tried to look for Great Northern in New Zealand too, and the only place sold it, but they don't have stock. You must have looked at the same website I did. Yeah, I couldn't find it for the life of me. Interesting. I can get Biltong. I can get Castle Lager. I can get all the South African stuff, but not the Aussie stuff. When will Super Rugby start again in New Zealand? It is starting in a couple of weeks. I think 13th of June. Travis Ishmael back at the Bulls. I did see that on their Facebook feed. 2 minutes on the game clock. It's a scrum feed to the Reds. See how their pack holds up. The crowd, by the way, looks pretty amazing. And it's interesting that it's just so red. I guess because Crusaders fans who traveled would also be, in all likelihood, wearing red. Was stuck in Canterbury for work, expecting to go get splattered this game. Maybe we went overboard when we won. That's just crazy that of all the places you were, was the home of your rivals. Radicki just got rid of it to Guinea. What's a pass? Oh, man. Turnover ball. Oh, man. The Reds have been messy so far. Are you guys sure they go on to do anything in this game? Power's up for a day or so. No mobile. Goddamn. Almost had to read a book. That's tough. That's tough. I haven't read a book for a while. I got about halfway through John Lomu's biography, and then I didn't finish it. I'll be honest. Queensland doesn't need South Islanders to fill Suncorp. I reckon most of them live there. Oh, snap. Wyatt Crockett with the cutout pass. Oh, Tom Marshall's who it was. Jeez, that's a name who's been gone for a while. It's a pretty ugly Crusaders jersey, eh? It's not the best. But it's the away jersey, so what are you going to do? This is excellent quality, not the rugby, but the stream. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with the picture quality. The game so far has been a bit messy. There's been some pretty bad hands so far. But a couple of sweet offloads. Oh, is that James Hallwell with the turnover? Reds legend. I need to go and start my new job tomorrow. Shave your beard. Oh, my Lord. All right, man. Good luck with the new job. Hope it goes well. Oh, there goes Zach Guilford. Sonny Bill when he played for the Crusaders. Man, this is a real blast from the past, hey? Obstruction. Yeah, missing the sky blue headgear. Yeah, true. Is that Sean Maitland? Holy moly, this is a long time ago. Finn, what's up, man? I might have to go get my daughter soon. See if she wants to watch the game or sleep through the game. She's just going and going. How long has that been? 15 minutes? Because she kicked off about 5 minutes before we started. I might try it soon. We'll see. Remember when the Blues made the finals? No, I don't. It's too long, man. Too long. What do you reckon about the 3 Reds players leaving the Reds? I know. I think there's a couple of things that are fishy about that one. The fact that they've all got the same agent is pretty dodgy. And the rumors that well, at least Rodder is a bit kind of burned about not being captain. That's a bit dodgy as well. So, Crusaders knocked it on. They might have had a man over there. And it was only Cooper to beat. Robbie Fruin. He had a heart problem from memory. I think no New Zealand team, including the ABs, should ever wear grey again. True. It's got a bit of bad luck, doesn't it? Hi, John. How's it going? Oh. The Gamer Hamish. There you go. Same agent as Karevi. Yeah, it's funny when the players do funny things. Like, I think Cooper and Sonny Bill had the same agent for a long time. I don't know if they still do. Oh, man, there's Guinea. He already looks dangerous, doesn't he? This is peak Guinea, isn't it? How old is Guinea at this time in this game? I hate the advertisement pollution on those jerseys. Yeah. I think this one, which is a later one, is a bit less obtrusive because I don't have the big white square. I remember when Robbie Fruin put a huge fend on Piriwepu. Yeah, I think if not for that heart problem, he probably goes on to have a pretty big career. I mean, not that his career was terrible. Just unlucky, eh? Right, seems like my daughter might be under control in the other room, so I don't have to put a baby on the live stream, which if she kept crying could be pretty bad. But generally, when she gets in Dad's big arms, does the trick. Man, it's almost been 10 minutes. This game's flying. Have they cut stuff out? Lucky to replace Gregan with Guinea and the Wallabies and Smith with Pocock. True, sometimes it just works like that. You're right. Best Reds jersey have QR. Queensland Rail. Is that what the QR stands for? One thing American sports does well, it doesn't fill their jersey with a bunch of ugly logos. They preserve the team brand. I never thought about that. I think you're right, eh? It's funny because they do ads a lot more in their sport than we do. They have a lot more TV breaks, but yeah, the jerseys themselves stay relatively clean. Never thought about it. Rob Simmons, what were you doing? Waratah's legend. Just put a couple of tuies into a... She might be slightly young to get on the Terps. I did let my son try. Like I put my fork into my wine glass and let my son just taste the tip of the fork because he was really curious that I was drinking red wine because I don't usually drink red wine. That same one I had the other night. And yeah, he didn't like it. So to go from the spoon in 2007 to winning it in 2007 to 2011 is not bad. Yep. It'd be nice if the Blues could do something like that. Pray for a good rugby video game. Yep. Maybe one of these days, mate. Man, look at that crowd. You don't see Suncorp like that much for Union anymore, hey? That's a thing of beauty. Always like the Rugby World Cup jerseys. Yeah, because they aren't allowed to put the sponsors logo. They're only allowed Rugby World Cup logo, jersey manufacturer, and team's emblem. Man, there's some big tackles in this game, hey? Still 0-0 after 13 minutes and 40 seconds. I think Marnie Libok should get more starting time instead of Mornay staying because Mornay wasn't impressing. Is Marnie Libok a Jake White kind of player? I don't know. I would also like to see Marnie Libok get some game time, but I don't know. Isn't he supposed to be leaving? That's the rumor. Who do you think will win Super Rugby Australia? Probably the Brumbies. Be nice if the Force did it today. That would be the ultimate middle finger to the other, well, not to the other teams, but to Rugby Australia anyway. I can't see it happening, but it would be hilarious. Basically, we're going to Suncorp was going to Caxton Drink, doing a mini pub crawl before going to the game. I have to put that on the bucket list. DC is going to have a shot at the polls. We haven't had any scoring in its 15 minutes. Who was that? Ewan McKenzie not happy. The Faianga brothers, true. Oh, Dan has pushed it wide. Oh, and my daughter is back kicking off. She is unhappy with Dan missing that one. It's amazing how good Caxton is. There's not many great rugby pubs in Australia. If you're in ACT, I suggest the Dock. Doesn't what's his face own a pub in Canberra? Prop. What's his name? I can picture his bearded face. Sonny Bill with the offload. Even if the Force could win a few games, would be turn up. Yeah. They'll be big time underdogs, but I think the interest in them is going to be massive, if nothing else. If they get a couple of hidings, it might die off. ACT is a weird place. Gregan owns coffee shops here too. Cool. Great. Favorite Gallagher Premiership club? Probably Bath at the moment, eh? There seems to be a lot of Bath fans on the channel, and they've been kind of, I don't want to say brainwashing, but at least influencing me to support the old guys from Bath. Guildford, out of ideas, and that wasn't a good one. Man, my daughter's going full ballistic. Harlequins. Oh. Harlequins have got one of the more colourful jerseys in World Rugby. Signed Chris Ashton, is that right? Gregan owns a few coffee shops. He owned a couple in Sydney and the CBD. Owned? Does that mean he no longer does? I'm a Bath fan. You have brainwashed me to be a Blues fan. So it works both ways. There you go. Neither of us is going to be in a world of winning, are we? I mean, with all due respect to both clubs, neither's really powering down for a championship anytime soon, are they? But, oh well. They both wear a bit of blue. Bath fans everywhere. I remember standing in a rugby club in ACT during a match talking about 10 selections for the 19 World Cup with a guy in a Bath polo like 2060. They're devoted. Nice. She's all good, but she does have some lungs. Yeah. Like I said, her routine's been disrupted by going back to daycare. And they can't seem to get her to have a nap now. I guess she's getting too old to have naps, which means she is shattered when she gets home. She doesn't know what to do with herself. We're impressed with Liam Wright. He's a sensible young man, isn't he? Says the right stuff that a captain should be saying. Oh, man. There's no points, but the pace of the game's still pretty high after 19 minutes and 35 seconds. A few fumbles, a few big tackles, a few good offloads. But yeah, they have really chopped out any of the faffing about before scrums, eh? Maybe that's making the pace of the game feel quicker. That's why the game's only an hour and 20 something. Bath need to strengthen their squad. Nathan loves watching Wasps. I think if I had a thing for any club before I really started watching the Premiership, it probably would have been Wasps because they signed a bunch of exciting players. I used to catch them every now and again, but not with any regularity. 20 minutes, nil all. Reds fan in 2011 have no fingernails left. Liam Wright's a good pick for captain. He seems like he's got a pretty good head on his shoulders, eh? But I mean, I would have thought the same about Rodder. I wouldn't have thought he's the type to pack us out if he wasn't chosen as captain, but that's just what the media is saying, so I don't know. Crusaders have been down this end of the field for a bit. Did they pick up any points? Barring Guinea with that run, I can't remember much about this game. It's been a long time. DC with the knock on. Come on, Dan. It's always good to see a game where the Crusaders lose, says Joe. It doesn't happen that often. What a kick. Oh, but they're taking it quickly. Quaid's on a run. He's looking to shovel. Nobody to shovel to, and he gets buried. Rare card, a dog game. Well, yeah, he's missed the penalty, knocked on. It's not been his best outing thus far. Wearing grey is minus 10 points for a start. True enough. Rumor has it he's planning to move to the Tars. Didn't the new CEO or whatever it is in Rugby Australia basically say that's off the cards now, saying they're not going to just come and move to another club? Man, how young does John O'Lance look there as well? Far out. This is making me feel a bit old, fellas. Anyway. Great kick it was, man. Keen to taste what beers taste like again. Bro, I forget. You guys in South Africa have been doing it pretty hard with the no beers, no smokes, man. Doesn't make sense. The pitch is cutting up. They didn't edit out this bit. They edited out some of the setting a scrum stuff, but they didn't edit out fixing the pitch. Interesting. Fast, but think before you pass your donkey. Yeah, that's fair. Man, even Higginbotham looks, I suppose, 9 years younger than I'm used to looking at him now. How was Zach Asada? Yeah, I don't know how it works, man. That's just the thing that you just get signed by whatever team wants you. Oh, man, I've got an ad for an Apple Watch. That was a 5-second ad. Okay. Yeah, they just signed them. They don't have the whole catchment zones like they used to have where you could have first dibs on the players from your area. Maybe that's one of the things they're not doing right about Super Rugby these days. As a Blues fan, I don't think I'll ever back the Crusaders in my lifetime. I'd rather see the team playing the win instead of them. Well, Big Will, I've got a natural thing for going with underdogs, and the Crusaders are pretty rarely the underdog. And I mean, it's not like they haven't won it a lot. It's kind of hard to justify. If you're a neutral, it's kind of hard to justify supporting them, eh? Give somebody else a turn, man. You guys have had lots of turns. You're that big kid on the swing who just won't bloody get off. Can't edit out people hand patting down Suncorp Stadium. Yep. Ad block. Oh, man. As long as it's not for my videos, right? You've got to let those things run. Not let them run, but only watch ones you're interested in, of course. I don't think you're allowed to officially ask people to watch ads. It's against the terms of service. As a lifetime Crusaders fan, I will never back a North Island team, but will back the Highlanders. That makes sense. That's pretty bad, Quaid. We had that with Saracens, but now they're off for a year. Yeah, Saracens will be off for a year. I'm sure they'll be back. No way I'd support a Kiwi team any day over another team. Yeah, some people are like that. They can't understand supporting another country's team. But honestly, the Crusaders have won it so many times. I'd love to see like the Sharks win it because they've never won it. They've lost finals. How much would it mean to their fans for them to win it compared to the fans in Christchurch? Just as an example, that's just for me. My heart goes to South African fans for not being able to smash a few beers. Exactly, man. Exactly. People that only would say that about the ABs. I mean, it was suckful at the World Cup to see the All Blacks lose, but I kind of got that for World Rugby. It was probably beneficial to see another team win, man. And same when the Box won down here in 2018. New Zealand took it pretty well, man. Like, we've been winning a lot. And I think people were pretty much like, okay, cool. Good for the game to see a team come in and nick one from us. So, yeah. Trans-Tasman comp with a Pacific Island team, Japanese team, rather than South African team in the mix. There's a lot of talk about that recently, but the South Africans bring in the lion's share of the coins, so I don't know how people expect to pay the players to pay in this pay the players to play. Pay the players to play in that competition. Yeah, basically. I think Japan's kind of not really that fussed about hanging out with us anymore. They've kind of got their own thing going on in the top league. So, yeah, I think the chance to incorporate Japan may have kind of sailed after the World Cup. Even Maitland looks sluggish. I never liked Maitland, actually, when he was in the Crusaders, and I thought it was a bit of a joke when he got selected for Scotland. But when I've watched him for Scotland, he's been legit pretty good. But I wouldn't have had him as an All Blacks fan at that time. But I was also probably a bit anti-Crusaders, to be fair. Oh, bit of how's your father? Nothing too serious. Quaid with his unique kicking action. Man, we could use some points. And he's got it. 3-0 after 32 minutes. I didn't remember there being such a gap. Do you think there's a market for rugby in China and Southeast Asia? I mean, I lived in China for like 7 years. And to be honest, nobody there really knows the difference between rugby and American football because in Chinese it's the same name. So if there's a market, it's a minuscule one. That being said, China's got over 1 billion people, so even a small point of a percentage in a country that big is still quite a few people. But yeah, it's not really on the radar at all over there. It's mostly basketball, bit of football. Always been expat crowd in Singapore. I think likewise Hong Kong, right? Although for Hong Kong, maybe not necessarily expats, but yeah. It's a bit more of a multicultural community there, as I understand it. So they're getting beers back from the 1st of June. You smash the beers on the stream next Saturday because next Saturday is your birthday. Whoa, I looked down and what happened? Holy moly. Carter's going over for a try. What was that about him having a bad game? $34 minutes. Man, this game's been quiet on the scoreboard. In 2 minutes, you got a penalty from one side and a try for the other. What happened? Ellis, Carter, Grubber, regather. Too easy. That's just individual brilliance, hey? Please tell me that's not a tui. It's a tui. Chinese people too small. Some of the people I've met Chinese guys taller than me, but and I'm 6'4". But yeah, I mean, I would imagine a bit up north because Inner Mongolia is part of China. There's a few beefy people up there, but yeah, the majority of people I met were shorter than me. But the same's true here. I hardly ever meet anybody taller than me over here. Even in a dog game, he runs in a try. Yeah, that's just Dan Carter, isn't it? Can Samoa reach Fiji the next World Cup? I don't know, man. Samoa has been on the decline for quite some time. I hope so, but I can't see it. In the Olympics, India doesn't even have a gold medal. Is that right? China is massive on their Olympics program. So I'm sure they'll if they're going to get good at anything, it'll be women's sevens first, and then it'll be men's sevens. The 15s would be miles behind. But if China, with the sevens being in the Olympics, they will invest money in those two. Chinese people taller than me playing basketball. Yeah, true. There's a lot more money in basketball and less concussions. So you're probably right. I mean, I taught at a few schools in China, man. Every school's got a basketball court or multiple basketball courts. Usually heaps of outdoor ones and then one big stadium-style indoor one. If they've got a soccer field, it's usually, at least where I was living in China, it's usually like not very well tended. And certainly no rugby field. I've never seen rugby posts in China. There was one rugby club in the city that I lived in, but yeah, that's it. I stayed in China, nothing to do with rugby, indeed, mate. I was looking at Archias Neyman's Instagram, and he's a monster in height and size. Yeah. You can't trip Quade Cooper. It's a penalty. I mean, Archias Neyman's a big guy, though. I think he'd be a monster over here. If he stood next to me, he'd probably look like a monster as well. Like, I feel tall at 6'4", but that's like 194 in centimeters. And these locks are all like 2 meters, 205, 210. Although I think Maro Itoje is only a little bit taller than me. He's pretty short for a lock. 7-6. Quaid kicks the penalty on 38. We're almost at halftime, man. This game's flying by. Oh, man. These ads are getting brutal. Is this what it's like when I was watching my videos? My videos aren't 36 minutes long. Trouble with island nations as Fiji, Samoa, Tonga, etc. Their players get more money for playing their clubs in Europe, not their country. That's true. Also, massively for Tonga and Samoa, a lot of their players are New Zealand-born guys. I'm not sure what the club scene is like over in Tonga or Samoa itself. Like, I know the New Zealand scouts are always checking out the high school boys from over there, but I'm not sure what this like the levels like after high school? If guys, when they finish school, do they get to go play club rugby? I got no idea. Like what the level's like. Yeah. Because not everybody comes in straight from high school. Sonny Bill couldn't quite hang on to it. Do you think the Blues could take out Super Rugby Aotearoa with Beauden Barrett? I mean, possibly. But as a Blues fan who's been burned year after year, I'm not going to say it's super likely. I'm not holding out a lot of hope for that one. I managed to get to a handful of games this year. Was overseas for basically all the finals, though. Almost at halftime. 40 minutes on the clock. $600 rugby clubs in Fiji. Damn, man. 600. That seems like a lot. Heaps of people saying the Japanese team had too many short ethnic Japanese players in their team. And look how far they got in the Rugby World Cup. Yeah, I mean, you've just got to kind of adapt your team to play the best style for them, right? But that being said, it's nice to have at least one lock who's like proper tall 2-meter timber. Samo with the one-handed pass to Guinea. Halftime. Pretty low scoring first half, but a fair bit of brutality, bit of Carter magic to light things up. It's been a Blues year for about 15 years. Oh, yeah, man, easy. Easy. What's your opinion on South Africa getting booted from Sansa? I don't think that's a thing, man. I think that's a lot of hot air, to be honest. Because I think New Zealand and South Africa have both already signed up to a TV deal going forward. It's just Australia that hasn't. So I don't think it can happen, even if they wanted it to. I'm getting a lot of black screen for halftime. As a Blues fan, my team will win every year. However, my diehard support sometimes outweighs their capabilities. I feel that. I feel that 100%. 120 clubs in Samoa and 82 in Tonga compared to 600 in Fiji. Man, that's a drastic difference. Bro, where's the rugby at? Is this black screen going to go on? Okay, it's about to finish. Japan in 2019 played a lot like 2011 All Blacks. Was great to watch. I think Eddie's a pretty smart coach, man. He had those guys pretty good. I'm having a birthday party next weekend. I don't know what to spend my money on. Blues home kit or Auckland home kit? I really liked the Blues home kit when I first bought it, but it's not aging that well, to be honest. The collar is already looking pretty stuffed. But, yeah. All right, second half's underway. There's a lot of people not in their seats. People going to the bathroom or going to get a beer. Big Will says, up the mighty Blues, Blues for life. I will drink to that. Cheers, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate the sentiment as well. Blues, Super Rugby Aotearoa, inaugural champions. Maybe, possibly, could be. Oh, man, was that Maitland? How many knock-ons like that have there been in this game, man? Game clock time. I'll check in just a sec. Oh, Maitland, brutal. Throws the ball away in disgust. Matt Todd holds his hair in despair. And he says an F word. 41:40 on my game clock. Trying to get an $8 beer and some $16 nuggets at halftime. Yeah. Those are the moments that usually take the Crusaders to victory. Yeah, the Crusaders usually make enough 50-50s to have 50% of them go their way, but it hasn't been the case so far except for Dan's bit of magic. At this rate, Namibia will beat the ABs before the Blues make the finals again, bro. That's cold. I mean, even when the Blues are looking good, a pandemic makes sure the Blues won't make the finals. Okay, yeah. Fair call. Fair call. The 1 year we finally looked decent. Man, where's George Whitelock these days? Is he retired? The universe just hates the Blues. It's sad but true. What's funny is, like when I was in China, often for a few years not watching much rugby because it was pretty hard to get my hands on. Like I was following Liverpool, the football team. And like they haven't won the Premier League ever since it was like officially Premier League. And then like before it was called Premier League, they had their last titles a long, long time ago. I know they've won Champions League, but like the actual top flight of English football. And this year they were on track to do it as well. I'm not saying the Blues were on track to win it, but at least the Blues were doing good. So two teams that I follow were having pretty good years, just put it that way, and then stinking it up with the global pandemic. Oh, to touch on the fall. Quaid Hugh, hat full of knobs. Neither side has really had a guy having their best game thus far, huh? There's evidence tall people live shorter than taller people. Shortness is a genetic advantage in colder places because the heart can easily circulate blood to the extremities. Yeah, man, I get chilblains sometimes in winter because my blood doesn't get all the way. Oh, Tupperware just ankle tapped. Yeah, I get chilblains because the blood doesn't get to my extremities that well. I used to get it a bit like when I smoked, I guess more, but I used to get it when I was a teenager as well before I didn't smoke as a teenager. So, yeah. And tall people just don't live that long, eh? I'm doomed in that regard. Like everyone who lives to be 100 is like 5'2". So, yep. So it's your fault, 2 cents. Take off that Reds jersey. Oh, no, it's my fault. The universe revolves around me. Man, even Digby, how many moments in this game has had a proper world-class player just knocking the bloody ball on? It's getting painful. Shortness is a genetic advantage in hilly countries because it takes a lot of energy to walk up and down hills. Sonny Bill just couldn't quite find someone to offload to. Oh, surely the Crusaders. Is that try? Held up. TMO. Brad Thorne celebrating like he scored. Shortness is also kind of an advantage in China because you don't hit your head on the handrails on the subway or on the bus. All Sonny did to do was throw the offload. Yeah, I don't know why he held on to it. It looked like it was on for sure. I don't know if they can. Did the ref say any reason I can't award the try? Who remembers Digby in the Crusaders jersey? He didn't play many games for the Crusaders in that one season, but he did sign for the Crusaders. Relatable, and I'm only 175 meters tall here. Yeah. Should have seen me on the bus in China, man. I couldn't get my legs into some of those seats. Didn't do a lot of clothes shopping over there. Five-meter scrum. Brad Thorne looks perplexed, but straight back to business. My head can touch the top of some of the smaller buses and trams. Yep. I relate. The crowd's getting into it. I can hear a chant going on. Being tall is a disadvantage in war. I always felt like I was a big target when I was in the army. I never joined the army, but I did do like air cadets when I was a teenager. And they always made me march at the bloody front of the parade because they wanted the tall people at the front. Yeah, that was kind of crappy. You couldn't just hide up the back. My missus is short. She's 4'11", bro. Nah. Back when people gave a shit. Still time for them to come right, man. Oh, scrum penalty for the Crusaders. Do they kick the points? That's a Super Rugby Final. Dan Carter's not going to miss 2 penalties in one game, surely. Richie says, take the points. Favorite Super Rugby team from South Africa is probably the Sharks. 2 reasons, mostly black jersey, and they've lost a lot of finals. I feel bad for them. I want them to win one of these days. So yeah, my favorite Super Rugby team is the Sharks. And what happens in the year of a pandemic? Weren't they like top of the log? They want dudes with big nips at the front. No, it's the tall people. They ranked us by height. I remember it. He's kicked that one, 10 points to 6 after 49 minutes. Couple Cantabrians in the crowd having a good game. I'm nice and short, 170. I don't think 175 is that short. I'm tempted to Google that. Like average height of a male in New Zealand. I'm sure it's not that much taller than that. I don't think it's into 1.80 m. Yeah, average Kiwi man is 177. So in New Zealand, you'd be just below average. Holy crap, Cooper tackled somebody, indeed. Sonny Bill Williams, Rugby League mercenary. He goes where the money is. And don't forget the boxing. Holy moly, there goes Digby. He's been having a bit of a stinker until this point, hey? Oh, and then he's got those dance moves. Maybe he is having a stinker. I'm 181. I thought my missus was short at 153. That's a bit of a gap. I think my missus is like 167 and I'm 194, so again, it's a bit of a gap. Kick, Andy Ellis, Guinea, Cooper, Digby, straight through. Oh, man. Marshall looks ridiculous there. That's almost comical. That's pretty much a joke, isn't it? Man, that's terrible. That's terrible. Mike Tyson didn't think too highly of the idea of fighting Sonny Bill. Fair enough, man. He's like a former world heavyweight champion. Why would he want to fight some league player, rugby player? I think he's right. He can do better. Yeah, but she makes up for it in loudness. I'm 177. I dated a girl who was 184. I've honestly not dated a girl who was taller than me. Sonny Bill Williams not a boxer. He is fit, but not a boxer. Yeah, I don't remember seeing much of his fights here in New Zealand, but the people he was fighting were definitely not like very athletic. Oh, big Will. Digby Ioane, one smooth brother. I'm not sure about his dance moves. I mean, they're better than mine, that's for sure. But in terms of that run, yeah, it was smooth, and he made Tom Marshall look like a bloody clown. What was that dive? That looked like he'd been shot. But cheers, man. Appreciate it. Hope the missus letting you have the lounge tonight, bro. This is one of the favorites for Harry. It's been a pretty brutal game, I got to admit. Too many errors, too many knock-ons from like Cooper, Carter, Digby. Like some proper class players have knocked the ball on in this game. But yeah, some of the hits in defense have been pretty brutal. My wife's 5'10". I thought she could give me big, strong Super Rugby playing sons. But we just have two daughters, so that never happened. They can play rugby, mate. Women's game is growing like mad. They probably won't get paid very well for doing it, but maybe by the time they grow up. I mean, rugby players don't get paid well in the men's game compared to other sports anyway, but you know what I mean. Interestingly, I've got a son and a daughter, and my daughter's 2, and like comparing their growth, booklet thingies, like she's bigger than he is at the same age, so she may well have got my genes, and my son may have got my wife's genes. So my daughter may tower over my son one of these days. Oh, Ribsy. That one where he does the windmill, though, the celebrations are better than the tries. Maybe we need more of that, man. Entertainment factor. I know some of the guys have some pretty douchey celebrations these days. Maybe they're all that bad. I don't know. But cheers, man. I hope this is a good trip down memory lane for you. Rob Simmons giving away a penalty. It's what he does. Oh, what's this? Hold on. If 2 Cents can do Digby's windmill celebration try. Bro, you're going to need to get more than 2 beers into me for that stuff. I'm sitting on the floor here. What's a kick? But cheers, big old man. My son is 6'8". So I'm 6'3", Mike's 5'10". You got a basketball playing boy. If douchey celebrations bring people to the games, then who cares? Agree 100%. Maybe Big Will one of these days. I'll do another one of those reenactment videos, and maybe I'll think about the windmill. What did I do when I did that lockdown video? I did Dan Bigger, I did Jonah, I did George North, and I did the banana kick. Maybe I'll think about the windmill. I'll have a couple of beers before I go and do it. 13 all, 56 minutes, 40 seconds. Second half's been pretty lively, got to admit. Just kidding, 2 cents. I told you throwing out a hip. Come on, man, I'm not that old. The ideas are flying tonight. Top 10 douchiest try celebrations. There's been some pretty bad ones. That's true. Sean Stevenson's one is my least favorite, just where he shoots, because he's the shooter. I mean, he's a good player, but he's got a shit, excuse my language, try celebration. That's bad. That's bad. I don't know where he got the nickname from. Maybe he doesn't call himself Shooter, but I don't know. I think it's a bit of a silly one. But anyway, yeah, cheers, Ripsy. That's an idea, man. I'll have to have a look. I'll have to see if it exists on YouTube. Someone may have done it. Rob Simmons just scores a after the whistle try. Throw it a hip. Yeah, man, bro, I'm still in my 30s. My brother turned 40 on Monday. And he couldn't get an appointment at the hairdresser, so I cut his hair for him. Am I a good brother or am I a good brother? 2 cents haircuts, man. You've got 2 options. I can give you a number 4 all over, or I can do number 4, wow, basically short back and sides and trim the top. That's it. Those are the only options. Thin the top even. But what a brother, right? Hello from America. Hey, Marshall, if you're watching the game, the YouTube track is at 101.55. Are they actually looking at this? No. Chris Ashton doing anything always gets you. Yeah, his swan dive things used to drive me up the wall. I could always cringe when I saw him scoring those tries. How tall is my brother? He's taller than me. He's 6'5". I'm 6'4". Kiwi bowl cut, yeah. Can do that. Archie Thompson, Tim Cahill. Corner flag, shadow boxing. Yeah, Tim Cahill. I haven't seen Archie Thompson do that, but I've seen Tim Cahill do it. And again, I always thought it was a bit naff when he was playing for Everton. But yeah, I can feel the Reds are getting into the ascendancy at the moment, eh? Any of you ever see that Premiership player that stands with his legs far apart, with his bum out, ready for the kick? Hmm? Hear about the 3 Reds players that got let go? Yep. It was kind of their own making, wasn't it? Congrats on 24, says Harry. You noticed, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. For some reason, the subscriber numbers have bumped up recently. Like, it's been kind of steady, but it seems a wee bit quicker in the last few weeks, which is weird because there's no rugby on. I think those attendance videos maybe did it. They seem to be really popular. People love talking about bums on seats. I mean, I find it interesting as well, otherwise I wouldn't do videos on it. But yeah, they attract a lot of attention and a lot of feedback. Reds are applying the pressure. Indeed. They are in the ascendancy for sure. But it's still 13-all. Could go either way. Reds of this era got their tails up. They just go. Been missing that culture. Crusaders have turned it over. But they just kick it straight back. So the Reds are going to run it right back at them. Although Cooper goes nowhere and gets flattened. Interestingly, you know, some of the guys talk about when Brad Thorne became coach of the Reds, he cut or wouldn't play Quade Cooper because of this game. That's one of the rumors that goes around. His name's Rob Cook. He used to go nuts every time he kicked penalty goals and conversions. Man, I don't, doesn't ring a bell. Has anyone told you look like Pollard? People have mentioned that. That comes up like once a month. I get a comment, maybe once every 2 months. Anyone ever told you look like Andre Pollard? I've shown his photo to my wife, and she's just like, nah, I don't see it. So I'll take her word for it. Some people can see it. Man, people miss rugby. You bring some kind of rugby. Subscribed. Yeah, maybe once once rugby gets back on the screen, the subscriber numbers will drop. People are like, oh, thank God. There's actual rugby to watch. I was there when you're at 500 subs. It's amazing how much you've grown. I agree, man. It's been crazy. It has been mad. I used to sit on the floor in the bedroom. I can't do that now because my daughter's asleep in there. I think I did one video when my son used to sleep in our room when he was like 2.5. And I used to have a little lavalier microphone and I had like the lamp on. So there's virtually no light. I'm sitting in a dark room speaking really quietly because my son is asleep in the cot. So yeah. I mean, I've still not become that much more professional because I'm still using a whiteboard, but at least I'm not just sitting in front of a lamplight, I guess. It's no secret Thorne had a beef with Cooper. Yeah, agree. But is it down to this game? I think this will bring people back into the game, the hindsight of isolation. Yeah, hopefully it gives people a bit of a fix. Certainly gives me a bit of a fix. Those 3 Reds boys are young. Yeah, you're right, man. The oldest one's, what, 23? 2 of them are 23, one's 21. Should keep doing this with live games. Figure out how to add the game clock. The game clock is a bit of a bother, eh? I know the 1014, when they were still making YouTube content, did do some kind of live stream stuff as well. And they tried doing a game clock, but with all the stoppages and starts, I think it's kind of a pain in the ass. They complained about it, saying it was really hard, and that throughout their live streams, they would always say, oh, our clock's kind of gone out of sync. So it does seem tricky. I could maybe think of an alternative with the whiteboard, though, just like cross off times throughout the game like an exam clock. I don't know. Throws it into touch instead of a clear overlap. Yep, the Crusaders are definitely not on form. Love the live streams, miss rugby, but these live streams are scratching the itch. Good, man. Me as well. I mean, I would never be watching this game if not for you guys and for the pandemic. So, bro, bright side. Because usually, I mean, I think I've mentioned it before. I sit down with my wife at the start of the week and I'm like, right, Fridays, this game, Saturdays, this game. And then if it's Six Nations, Jesus, it's like Sundays, this game, Monday morning, 5 o'clock or 3 o'clock, this game. So with all those games, I'm like, I'm not watching any more rugby. Nah, not going to sit down and watch some historical game. But maybe I should. Oh, Crusaders line out. Fail. Maybe I should watch classic midweek games or something because otherwise I won't watch them. The whiteboard brings a level of uniqueness to the channel. Yeah, I think that's kind of my shtick, eh? It's probably two things. It's the jerseys and it's the whiteboard. I don't even know if people read the whiteboard, but I certainly talk to the whiteboard. It helps me kind of keep my thoughts because I do everything in one take. And I sometimes have notes, but the whiteboard kind of keeps me on track of the talking points. Doesn't always work. Sometimes I still just waffle on, but, you know, probably because I was a teacher, eh? Teaching in front of a whiteboard. You have to give away all the jerseys but two. Far out. Blues and All Blacks are the ones I'm keeping, man. What can I say? We've got to be coming up to that Guinea try. Really? We're at 66.55. Why did I think it was a bit later than that? I don't read the whiteboard, but I'll riot in the street if you don't update it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I spend time writing up all the... Here he goes. Ribsy called it. Bro, hot knife through butter. How the hell did he do that? That is one of the tries of all time, honestly. I knew that was coming, and even when I saw him with the ball, I doubted whether he could get there. No way that just happened. Far out. What a try. What a try. That's madness. He looked and was like, nobody to pass to. Bugger this, I'm running. Far out. And there it is. It was glorious. Yeah. I'm not joking. I looked at it and thought, nah, he can't do that. It's beautiful. Bro, look at that. Look at it. He gets the ball. He's like, this way. Bugger, I'm going. And he goes. And then he still looks, nah, I'm going to go. And eventually he just decides, F this, I'm going. Beautiful. That's one of the tries of all time. Honestly. Because of this channel, whiteboards will be included in all your YouTube rugby videos. Yeah, most of them have the whiteboard. Still hurts, says James. But cheers, Ribsy, man. I hope you enjoyed that because even me as a neutral, that was bloody fantastic. What a try. What a try. Big Will. Guinea, you sneaky, you silky SOB. Honestly, how did he do that? He didn't plan it, hey? But, yeah. Cheers, Big Will. You guys have been very generous tonight, man. What a try. Soul-destroying stuff for the Crusaders, guys. Superb try, indeed. It's funny, just you guys talking about the whiteboard, because, some YouTube channels I watch, in the description, people include like a link that'll be like the gear I use, and it's usually like their camera, their microphone, their, I don't know, drone, or like whatever equipment they're using to make their YouTube videos. And I was thinking that I could include a link like the gear I use, like whiteboard markers. Although I've got no idea who made my whiteboard. I just bought it off Trade Me for as cheap as I could get it. It's no fancy whiteboard. It's just a whiteboard. I got no idea what brand it is. Just keeps running that angle. Yeah, just keeps going. Maybe the defense works too hard to cover the passes and lets him go. Yeah, I think they were just partially waiting for him to pass it. And even he was kind of half waiting for himself to pass it. But when everyone just stood off him, he was like, well, bro, if you're going to stand off me, I'm going to go for it. Just curious, what does Aotearoa translate to in English? I believe it is Land of the Long White Cloud, but I'm not an expert. If I up my Patreon pledge, can you send me a signed whiteboard in the post? And then in the postage, the whiteboard marker stuff gets wiped off, eh? Yeah. I need to get into the whiteboard game, eh? I need to be reaching out to some whiteboard manufacturers to say, look, you need to sponsor me. This video is brought to you by someone and Sons whiteboards. That's genius. Fortunately for us, red and black supporters, we don't feel this bad too much. Exactly, man. For every game like this one or the Waratahs one, you've got a bunch of other times when you've done this to another team. So, yeah. You'd have to include the make and model of the whiteboard and its markers. I know, and I don't know it. Because, yeah, to me, it's just a whiteboard. And every whiteboard is pretty much the same. This is my whiteboard. There are many whiteboards like it, but this one is mine. 73 minutes, 25 seconds. 18-13. The Crusaders are back in their own half again, and the Reds have got the ball. Wednesday and Saturday, your live streaming days, Adam. Yes, recently, mate, they have been. They have been Wednesday and Saturday. Generally 9 p.m. New Zealand time, because that seems to work with my kids for the most part being well in bed, and it's not so late that I'm going to be too tired for work in the morning on a Thursday or tired to do family stuff on a Saturday. No, Sunday. You wear so many rugby uniforms, you could be sponsored by kit manufacturers like Canterbury or Adidas. But then I'd surely be only able to wear those manufacturers' jerseys. Maybe I should start asking for free stuff, eh? Although I don't think that's the way. I mean, it was interesting with the whole lockdown thing. Cooper's lining up a penalty, by the way. It's wide, not by much, but it's wide. There was some chocolate shop, I think, here in Auckland that opened up after lockdown, and they had a bit of a rant at some like social media people trying to get free stuff from them, saying, hey, give me some of your chocolate and I'll like review it on my Instagram page and stuff. And they were like, bro, we've been in lockdown for a month. We haven't had any business. Why am I going to give you free stuff? And then some food reviewer came out and said, I only do food reviews, but I never go into a restaurant saying, I'm a food reviewer, give me free food. He always just goes and pays for his meal and then goes home and does the review. So that kind of feels more like genuine, right? To like, if someone's going to offer you something, maybe you can think about it, but don't go out hounding for it. I don't know. I can't imagine myself approaching anybody going, bro, give me a free jersey. I'll do a video for you. Oh, the Reds had numbers there, but they did not pass wide. Hey, from Wales, how's everything going? Things are going pretty good. New Zealand's had no new coronavirus cases for like 5 days, so we are doing well, and rugby on in a couple of weeks, hopefully. I hope things are going good in Wales. Honourable mention to Samoa's Afro. I have seen they have got a Wallabies game on YouTube as well, which has got Radiki Samo as the thumbnail picture, so that might be another one to watch as well. Quade Cooper's pre-kicking stance looks like he's about to floss. True. Maybe that's where the inspiration came from for the guy who invented the flossing. How many jerseys do I own? 80 something. I think it's like 87. Get a biltong, make it a sponsor you, man. You know, we had a bit of biltong left, and my wife actually cooked up some of the biltong in a noodle soup, and it was bloody amazing. The Western Force are back, says Adam. I'm very keen to see how they go, man. It might be a tough road for them, but it's happy days to see how they go. Because Western Australia, from some of those attendance videos I've done, seems to be pretty big on their rugby union. So, yeah, hopefully they get some love from the fans for Super Rugby Australia. It's only about 2 minutes to go, guys. Richie was super quiet in this game. Yeah, I saw him slowing the ball down a couple of times, but Samo with the line-out turnover. Yeah, he's not had his normal impact day. Samo in 2019, that would have got you a yellow at the World Cup. Yeah, 2011 was a very different time. They still have some players who would have played them in Super Rugby. Yeah, it's true. It should have been a yellow. Yeah. 2011. Sorry, 2011. No, it is 2011. 2011 is a different time. It's not Western Australia that have the population. Half the population is South African. A lot of Kiwis there too, I think, went to do a lot of mining. Maybe that's part of it. A minute and 50 seconds to go. The Reds have got the ball. Oh, but they've knocked it on. They're going to give the Crusaders one last chance. Exactly a minute to go. Scotland or England? Any Kiwi is going to pick Scotland in that battle, but I'll happy to watch any Calcutta Cup match, mate. Do you have to do an attendance comparison when Super Rugby starts in New Zealand and Australia? I think at the moment, man, they're going to be played behind closed doors, so there won't be any fans. Here you go, the Crusaders. Are they going to steal it at the death? 10 seconds to go. Maitland gets put on his ass. Ball comes out. That's the siren. So the game clock is up. The Reds are pushing them back to halfway. Oh, they almost turned it over. Not quite. Oh, the Crusaders have knocked it on, and the Reds have won Super Rugby. Surely this is going to bring in an era of dominance for the Reds where they will continue to win year after year. Either way, man, good win. Tough game. Tough game. A bit more brutal than I remembered, but also a bit messier, a bit lacking in some of the skills execution that I remembered. But yeah, sucks to be a Crusaders fan. Just this time, most of the time, I think it's pretty sweet. This was the year when we didn't have a home game as well. Yeah, someone mentioned that earlier. That was the year where the stadium was damaged and they had to kind of be nomads for the year, which still, to come second is a pretty bloody good achievement. Second half was good. The second half was pretty good, man. First half was a little bit slow, too many knock-ons, but that second half was proper stuff. And look at James Horwell. He is pumped. Crowds getting into it. Proper stuff. All right, fellas. Cheers for dropping by for this one. It was definitely a good one to rewatch, man. As I said, I'd forgotten most of the game apart from Guinea's try, and even Guinea's try was better than I remembered, if that's possible. So, yeah, proper good game. I'm going to do the 2007 Rugby World Cup final on Saturday, which will be the same time. The only versions I've found aren't the best in terms of the picture quality, but I guess we'll get by. But, yeah. Yeah, well worth it for those tries, indeed. Yeah, so Saturday, 2007 Rugby World Cup final, South Africa against England. I think the best one I found is 480p. So we're talking standard definition. But, yeah. Anyway, cheers, guys, for coming along. Have a good rest of your day, evening, or whatever it is where you're at. And, yeah. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Take care, stay safe, and yeah, see you guys again. Cheers.